Okay, hello. We're live now. I'm Bob Boross, and this is my Jazz and Tap Dance Life. This is my YouTube video channel. We talk about all things related to jazz and tap dance. And just a quick, we do have a discussion coming up a little bit later with Jeff Hendrix, who is organizing a great big jazz dance festival in California over Memorial Day weekend. But first, just a little note about what we're doing with the channel itself. It's still growing by leaps and bounds. We started out with just 800 subscribers a little over a year ago, and we just broke 2,300 this week. So that's just phenomenal to have that many people signing on and looking for information about jazz dance, whether it's instructional or historical or discussions, anything we can put out there about the form. So that's great. So if you like what you see, please subscribe. Please hit your notifications bell, click like on the broadcast or on any of the videos, because that really tells YouTube that it's good information and they'll be more encouraged to share it with other people who have expressed an interest in jazz or tap dance. But right now, we are going to be talking with Jeff Hendrix. So he is right on the line, and I'm going to bring him into the broadcast right now. And here's Jeff. Hello, Jeff.
Hi, Bob. How are you?
I'm just fine. Now, you are in California at the moment, correct?
I am.
And that's where you're based. You're a teacher and a choreographer in jazz dance.
That's correct. I teach at several community colleges and Cal State Dominguez Hills.
Okay. All right. So how long have you been in California teaching?
In California since 1989.
Oh, so you're like a real, really well-established person in that area in California.
Well, I like to think so, yeah.
And you've seen a lot of things come and go in terms of jazz dance.
I have. It's certainly been changing over the last 20, 30 years.
Okay. Now, right now, you've come up with this idea. You're organizing a jazz dance conference. And I know when I was out there, it was maybe a little over a year ago, and spoke to you at that point, and you said it was an idea, but now it's come to fruition. So why don't you just give like a real, brief overview of what is this thing that you're organizing that you're going to be doing during Memorial Day weekend?
Okay, it's called Jazz Dance Conference West, Legends and Legacy. I'd like to bring attention to and honor some of the master innovators and teachers of jazz dance: Fosse, Cole, Giordano, Luigi, Frank Hatchett, Joe Tremaine. So I've organized, I have 12 teachers, including myself. We're going to have an event from Friday, May 22nd through Sunday, May 24th. And we're going to have, each teacher is going to teach 2 classes back to back. We've got 2 large studios at Cal State Dominguez Hills in Carson, which is halfway between LA County and Orange County. And I teach there. I just finished a jazz class this afternoon. And each one of those teachers in those 2 studios will teach a class, and then the next section will turn around and walk to the opposite studio. And so students are able, if they can't take with teacher A, let's say at 9 a.m., they can take with teacher A at 10:45, and vice versa for teacher B. So we have 4 sections on Friday and Saturday. And so that means 4 teachers, but 8 classes are offered each day. So that's a total of 16 classes. And then on Sunday morning, we'll have 1 section, 2 classes, 2 sections, 9 a.m. and 10:45. And the same thing will occur. Because I have 12 teachers now instead of just 10, I'm going to have to add an extra section, probably from 5 to 6:30 on Friday and Saturday evening. Sunday afternoon, we're going to have a panel discussion with all of the teachers, or most of them. And I've also got some agents coming from Go-To Talent Agency in LA to get their perspective. What will we be discussing? Well, I haven't actually made up the questions yet, but it'll probably be something along the lines of: where did jazz come from? How did it evolve? Where is it currently, and where is it going? And people will be able to, to offer their own personal experiences and professional examples in order to answer those questions. so that we can come to some kind of conclusions as to how to move jazz back into the mainstream. I feel like it kind of lost its dominance or its prominence in this milieu of dance in the United States and around the world.
Right. Well, I agree. There's been like a lack of proper information about jazz dance in recent years, and a lot of what we see on television or things that are out there are unusual versions, or not even a version of jazz dance that is still carrying that jazz dance name. So it seems like what you want to do with this is to sort of go back as much as possible and pull out what the more accurate viewpoint is and definition of jazz dance is, and make a format to present those things to the public so they can get a more accurate view of what the possibilities of the form are.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay.
There's since I teach in all these colleges, I just feel like students are not getting a very accurate interpretation in many places, not everywhere, of what jazz dance is. Some of them don't even know what jazz dance is. So I'd like to clarify that and get the input from some of these professionals. Legends and legacy means that most of these teachers, if not all of them, have studied with one of the jazz masters or their technique. So it's they're proteges of those techniques. We're also, I didn't mention earlier, as far as the format goes, we're going to have all the classes just perform quick little workshop, what they were doing in the classes on stage in the theater quickly. And then we'll have some like a gala performance in the evening as well with some professional companies and jazz dancers to show all the different main components of what is jazz dance.
Well, it seems like, I mean, this is your initial outing on this, and it's all inclusive and it's very grand in its scope. It reminds me, excuse me, much of the Jazz Dance World Congresses that happened in Chicago under the directorship of Gus Giordano many years back, in terms of what the great techniques are with the great masters, the choreography, presentation, and the history of it all at the same time, and putting that all together. So this is a very big concept that you're directing, and it certainly is a lot of work to put all of that in there. Now, I do want to ask you about just the scope of jazz dance, because jazz dance covers and touches many different aspects. You know, we have theatrical jazz dance, we have concert jazz dance, we have social aspects of jazz dance. So are you covering all of those different aspects within this conference, or are you focusing more on one or other?
No, I've got teachers that hopefully represent each one of those areas. Monsell Durden from USC is an ethnologist and a historian and an author, and he, I haven't actually met him yet. We have communicated. He supposedly studies and projects the influence of African American dance over the last 4 centuries. I have people that have Alexis Cara and Chrissy Whitehead. Both those ladies have been in national tours of Fosse or Chicago. I think Alexis was in the recent miniseries Fosse Verdon, and I have concert jazz with Pat Taylor with Jazz Antigua. Does a lot of concert work, and she brings a lot of the Africanist element into it, but I can't speak totally intelligently on what she offers, because it's just such a nice conglomeration and different and unique of technical jazz fused with modern forms like Dunham, fused with, as I said, the Africanist element. And it's just, her company is just beautiful. They will be performing.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, and then I have Luigi teachers that train.
Yeah, that was my next question. Is you have a sizable contingent of people who are interested in Luigi and his heritage. So you want to talk a little bit about some of the teachers you have who will be delving into the Luigi technique?
Yes, I trained with Luigi personally back in the 1980s in New York with 2 of the teachers I have, Joy Doucette and Jill Strauss. Joy Doucette is a Vegas choreographer. He also did a lot of work in television in Mexico City. and around the world. He's danced in, he and I walked the casinos one night in Las Vegas, and he told me every show he'd ever done. When we looked at something, he registered the next morning. He said, "Jeff, we walked 7 miles last night." So that's how many casinos we went through. But he is advocate he's directing this Luigi Jazz Dance Teaching Certificate. If you want to learn Luigi technique or learn how to teach it, he is holding a conference here in Los Angeles. Site to be determined, June 1st through 5th. So it'll be 1 week after my conference, May 22nd to the 24th. Jill Strauss currently teaches in Venice at the Electric Lodge. I love to take her class. She's a fabulous teacher and dancer, and she was in Luigi's company.
Wonderful. Okay.
Back in the day. And then Hama is a master in his own right and a master protege of Luigi. He learned in a different decade than Jill and Joey and I did, but and he made it his own thing. But his work is just beautiful. And he used to run Jazz Dance LA, which is similar to this type of conference.
Right.
And then who else am I missing? Jose Costas is going to do a Latin jazz section. He's down at Orange Coast College and was trained with Ballet Hispanico in Manhattan, in New York. He has a long resume. All these people have long resumes. I can't even start to quote them to you, but just give you little blurbs. I know I'm missing somebody. Janelle Burgess is going to advocate for Gus Giordano technique. She studied with him, I think, for a year under scholarship. And she's also recreating or reconstructing Jazz Spectrum Dance Company in tribute to her late mentor, Chris Baltas, who was a big jazz advocate here in Orange County for many years. And she unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. So I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. I'm sure I am, but
okay. Well, there's one more person in there.
There's Bob Boross. That's right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be teaching this workshop too,
and advocating for Matt Mattox technique. So again, honoring the masters, the pioneers. And Bob, while I'm thinking about it, I don't know if you know about this, but one of my early ballet teachers, or I used to be in a company called ABT. Maybe you've heard of it, the Austin Ballet Theater.
Oh, okay.
And my teacher was Stanley Hall. Stanley Hall, ballet master from Sadler Wells and the Royal Ballet, was in the movie The Bandwagon. He partnered Sid Charisse. Can you tell me what other famous dancer partnered Sid Charisse in the ballet section?
Oh, Matt Maddox partnered her in Bandwagon and a few other things. But yes, they were partners quite a bit back in the Hollywood musical.
And then my teacher, when Matt Maddox, he was the first partner in that Pas de Deux, that sequence, if you go back and look at it. And then Stanley Hall was the second one. So he was
wonderful. Okay, so you have in this workshop, people will be learning aspects of Luigi technique, of Gus Giordano technique, with me, Matt Maddox technique. They'll be learning a Fosse style. They'll be learning a Latin style. They'll have the concert style with Pat Taylor. So there's a tremendous, and the Joe Tremaine. So there's like a tremendous, cross section of quality jazz approaches, over the last few decades that you are going to be presenting in just a few days. And then along with it, there will be the panel discussions where people can discuss and have much more historical information, philosophical information. And then there's going to be jazz dance performances. So this is like a Jazz Dance World Congress. This is a major thing going on right there in Southern California. So you're organizing a big thing. It's going to be the place to be for people who are interested in jazz dance, for sure.
For sure. I have one of my missions is try to connect the audiences from LA and Orange County and around the world. So if you're coming from somewhere else, there's local hotels. Please go to my website at jeffhendrix.com and or Jazz Dance West and look at the schedule page. It's not complete yet, but the times are. But the actual assigning of teachers should be complete this week as far as their actual times they'll be teaching. The teachers are set. There will be hotels in the local area, and we welcome you all. I'm also trying to bridge younger and older audiences or demographics, as well as the studio and the collegiate demographics, so that they're not in two different, atmospheres or two different worlds.
Wonderful. Okay. Now, in terms of getting this information, you mentioned the website, which right now, at least the one that I have pulled up here, this is under your name of jeffhendrix.com, and that's with an X at the end, not with a CKS, jeffhendrix.com. And but is there another URL, or is that the only one that they can look to for information?
They could Google Jazz Dance Conference West.
Jazz Dance Conference West.
Yeah. It may say Legends and Legacy, or it may not, but Jazz Dance Conference West, then it'll say a link to jeffhendrix.com, and it should take you right to the website. And then you can just look at the pull down menu.
And in here, the information's on registration, all the performances, etc. So everything is here, and this is over Memorial Day weekend coming up of this year. So you probably are running around quite a bit now, putting this all together in addition to your normal teaching. So
well, I am. I have a lot of people that are wanting to help. I'm really impressed with how hungry everybody seems to be for this type of conference or congress, because everybody's just saying, yes, it's about time. Let's do it.
All right. Well, that's a wonderful thing. Now, when students or people who are going to this, who will attend, what do you hope that they get out of this when they leave? Like, what new thing, or how will they be changed, hopefully, after experiencing what you're bringing them?
Well, first of all, let me say, when you look at the price compilation under register, there is a student rate. So the students will, if you have an ID and you've come from a college, you'll be able to get 10 classes for $150. That's steep. I really think you should take advantage of it. Yeah.
That's a steal.
Yeah. In answer to your question, what I hope they take away from it, I hope they take away an understanding of what some of the master teachers who really, if you look at that picture on my mission statement page of Luigi, Joe Tremaine, Matt Mattox, Gus Giordano, Frank Hatchett, and I'm missing one. Matt Mattox, okay. And Jack Cole is not there, but if you look at that, I want them to have an understanding of who these pioneers were and what they brought to bear and how they helped to develop jazz technique, and to appreciate that and to take that back and to search out teachers that are providing those kinds of tools in your jazz teaching technique, because it's really valuable training, whether it be in a studio or in a collegiate arena. Please, let's keep these traditions alive. That's what I want to do.
Okay. Now, we do have a few people watching, and if you are watching, you're able to send in questions. You should be able to use the comment section on the side of your browser and bring in a question. And we do have a question here from Kathleen, who checks in with us quite often. So I'm going to pull this up, Jeff, and hopefully you should be able to see this. This is her questions. Are classes open to senior dancers? In other words, what is the age range who can attend these classes?
I'm just making sure. There is no age limit. I mean, I won't tell you my age, but I'm going to be out there with the best of them. So, Kathleen, I welcome you. Probably you're wondering what the level is. I think the level is going to be geared more towards the intermediate dancer, because I need to bring in as many well-trained dancers wanting to learn these techniques as possible. And then if they're really advanced, I'm sure the teachers are going to give them something to challenge them a little bit more advanced. And then if you're a beginner level, there'll be things that you can do, and there'll be it'll challenge you a little bit, which is good. You don't want to just do repetitive beginner work. It's not just to come and get a workout. It's really to to learn more about these techniques. And I think the intermediate level is going to be what we're focused on.
Okay. And there's a question about Catherine Dunham in the photo, not on the page I have up right now, but she was in the other one, I think, which may be the home page. Yeah, she's right here.
Yeah. Okay. Can I ask you, are you seeing me okay, or am I? I don't know.
No, I've got you okay, and I've got your website up right now at the same time.
My screen is blocking my website, but that's okay. I don't need it. So go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, and here's a studio from Mexico.
Hey,
and this fellow has students all the way up to 55 and 74 years old. So yes, there are what we would call senior dancers who are interested in jazz dance. But I think a really good demographic also is the younger dancer, because they're the ones who may be, you know, more having contemporary and hip hop is the things that are in front of them quite a bit more. So these students are the ones who need to hear about and understand what is the history of jazz, where did it come from, what are the great things of the people who have created in the past, and then to use that information, hopefully, as they move into the future, to take jazz to wherever it's going to go at that point. So yeah, definitely there's going to be a wide range of people there. So
there will be.
This is just great that you're deciding to do this, and I know you were talking about it and hemming and hawing, and then some people you mentioned, you know, were just discussing it with you recently and gave you a little boost, and so it sent you on your way, and you decided to put this together.
Exactly right. Yep.
So now, when people come to this, I mean, I can go back to the details page, but will students like pick and choose who they want to take from, or would they move into taking from all of the teachers? Like they could take a certain amount of classes. They could take 4 classes. So if somebody wanted to say, look, I'm just interested in taking from Janelle, you know, I'm really interested in her thing, they'd be able to just go particularly for her.
Well, in that case, they could take with Janelle. I haven't assigned her a time yet, but each teacher is teaching 2 classes back to back with a 15-minute break in between, where you can network with the teacher, because part of this conference is hopefully you will continue to study with that teacher post-conference. But if you took with Janelle, say at the 9 a.m. slot, then you get a little break in between, and you could take the exact same class with her again at 10:45, or you could teach with a teacher teaching opposite of her at that time. That goes for every teacher.
Okay, so you know, it's the first time you're out, but if the response is really good, is this something do you think that you want to have on an annual basis? Do you want to do this every year?
Absolutely. I'm hoping the response is so big that we can say, hey, this is something that is necessary, and maybe I can even get some people to contribute and get some funders in, because right now I'm footing the whole thing myself. So it'd be nice to have some support so this thing can just explode. It would be nice for this thing to be bi-coastal or tri-coastal or whatever, once a year, twice a year. The sky's the limit. I want to get it started and then see where it goes from there.
Okay, well, I mean, it's just a great idea. It takes somebody with a tremendous amount of passion for the form, which obviously you have, and who wants to put in the work. I know when I was at Western Kentucky University, this was many years ago, 1997 and 98, I organized my own conference. And I had Matt Mattox and his wife Martine there. I had Billy Sigenfeld and Jeannie Hill. I had Gail Benedict, who did Fosse Style. The second year, I had Frank Chavez. I had Lynn Simonson there. And I just know the amount of work that goes into planning something like this and pull it off is staggering. It was like a full year's worth of work to pull off a 1-week workshop. So it's great that you're willing to make this happen. And then hopefully, if it looks like it's great for the future, you know, then you can assemble your staff and just, you know, something where a group of people can put this up too. Exactly. So that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
I go to the website, sign up, come have a great weekend with us, network, meet people. Let's keep jazz alive and keep it healthy, and keep paying homage to those mentors that laid the groundwork for us.
Wonderful. Okay. All right. So what people need to do is to go to this website. And of course, this broadcast will be archived so people can look at it in the future. It's not like they can only see it right now. But once it goes into that thing, I'll have in the description, I'll have all the information on the URL that they can go to pick up the website in case they, don't have a moment to write this down at that point. But the main thing is to get in there and, sign up, make your plans and be there. It's going to be beautiful weather. Going to be in Southern California. I know I've been at Cal State Dominguez Hills before when I taught there. They're big, open, wonderful studios there. So the facilities are great. It'll just be, I think, a great weekend with people getting together. And I know that particularly the first time it happened, just the overall feeling between everybody is great because everybody who loves jazz is there and you have that communal, support for the form that will be there. So I think it's going to be a great, great weekend and something that you should definitely, get a pat on the back for deciding to bite this off and do this amount of work. So we'll all help and get this thing publicized and get as many people there as we possibly can. I think
Thanks,
it's going
Bob.
to be very good.
Yeah. Everybody, look forward to meeting you. Come on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, Jeff, thanks for coming in and being a guest. On this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you out right now, but hang in there and I'll just talk a moment about this. And then after that, we'll put this out. I'll send you the link so you can get it out on your social media. Certainly will be out on mine. And that way people can continue to watch this and find out about this great jazz dance program that you're putting together.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff. Hang in there. Hold on a second. Great. Okay. There we are. So that was Jeff Hendrix, who is directing this big Jazz Dance Conference West, big Jazz Dance Festival in Southern California over Memorial Day weekend. And as you can see, he's got teachers from Luigi style, Mattox style, Gus Giordano, Joe Tremaine, concert style with Pat Taylor. There'll be panel discussions. There'll be choreography showings. All of this going on Memorial Day weekend coming up this May. So this is a wonderful thing that Jeff is organizing and support it. It's just one weekend. Take your Memorial Day weekend and spend it dancing. Okay. His website is jeffhendrix.com. And that last name is HENDRIX.com. And I will put that in the description once this is finally put up and archived. But that's our broadcast for tonight. And thanks for tuning in. We do have people watching. And I'm Bob Boross. This is my Jazz and Tap Dance Life. And I'm very happy to bring information to you, this great information about all these different people who are working in jazz dance. So that's where we are tonight. Thanks for tuning in, and we will be back pretty soon with another live broadcast. I have a couple people on the line, and we'll be announcing that very soon. Okay. All right. Great. Thanks so much. Have a great evening.